All right, so it's time for Crypto Showdown. So, what cryptocurrency do you think has more upside in the short term? So, I'm not saying in the long term, I'm saying in the short term. We'll define short term as then basically in September, right? In September, what cryptocurrency do you think will give you the most gains as a short term trade? Is it Bitcoin, or is it what people are now referring to as the Bitcoin of DeFi? Is it Yearn.Finance, YFI? So we want our Token Metrics family to tell us what they think. This is based purely on your engagement. So go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Use the code 5591381. That's 5591381. And tell us, what cryptocurrency do you think has more upside? So Bill, from your perspective, based on the TA, kind of go through Bitcoin TA and go through Yearn TA and kind of tell us what do you think has more upside.
Okay, let's start with Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So nothing is happening in Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean something can't happen. And here's what I mean. If you look at a 2-day chart of Bitcoin, and as Ian said, the show is live, so bear with me. Okay, so if you look at a 2-day chart of Bitcoin, there is a lot of good things happening. There's a head and shoulders bottom, which is, that's an attempt by bears to push something down 3 times and then it doesn't work. And Bitcoin is also just sitting on top of a diagonal point that it broke, came back, and retested. Okay, so Bitcoin in many ways is a bird on a wire getting ready to fly. Now, of course, as altcoin people, we're not going to get upset at all if Bitcoin hangs out, because that allows alts to moon. If I switch over to Yearn and other alts, right? There are a couple charts that you need to look at in the Bitcoin universe. And this is probably the most incredible chart. It's Bitcoin dominance, right? And if you look at this arrow over here, you can see how sharply Bitcoin dominance rose in the summer of 2019. And if you just move the arrow over here, it looks like it's just going to go straight down to 55. So all these altcoins from Ethereum on down can just smoke higher, right? I'm not saying anything's wrong with Bitcoin, but they can just go up a lot more than Bitcoin can. All right. Now, when we look at Yearn, to me, this looks like your classic mega FOMO, right? Like, I'll draw it for you on the screen. When it's so unbelievable that it knocks your socks off, it's probably come to a conclusion, right? Mm-hmm. So, this Gann structure looks pretty interesting to me. When you have a rally that's this big, particularly when it had already mooned earlier, let's put it that way, Elliott guys can call that a 5 wave, right? Where, this level of excitement regarding Yearn.Finance, particularly since it went way farther, way faster than anybody would have imagined, to me, it says take the money. And every time we hear that this is the next Bitcoin, like we heard that in Ampleforth at $3 a unit, even though it was a $1 coin.
Yeah.
And then we heard it at 60 cents, everybody was like taking the sharp objects out of the kitchen. Now it's back to $1. So you got to be careful of, it has 2017 Bitcoin price action, right? Mm-hmm. But it's kind of paid, like after you made the money, like say in a chain link, it's paid to try to go find the next thing, whether it's Ether, Cardano, or whatever your next thing might be.
Yeah, well said, well said. I mean, so kind of to kind of borrow a phrase from your book, we're basically rotating, right? So this week was YFI, last week was Polkadot, the week prior to that was Chainlink. So it seems like every single week in crypto, there's an altcoin of the week, right? And right now, I don't think it really makes sense to kind of fall in love with any particular altcoin, especially if it's a short-term trade. But I mean, kind of putting the trading aside, I mean, so somebody was asking, have we kind of known that YFI was going to do this well? I don't think anybody would have known it would do this well. Now, our developers did do a code review and basically share that with our private group, the pro plan, basically early last month or so. I would say about 1 month ago. So our developers loved YFI, right? So from a purely technology perspective, if you go to Token Metrics and check out the code review, let me see if I can pull it up here. Right, so YFI is legit, right? It is legit as it gets, right? So technology-wise, 87%, right? So from a purely code-based perspective, it is great technology, right? So the hype, in a way, is real, right? The fundamentals are improving because it is a brand new project, but that's kind of given, right? Fundamentals take time to kind of build up, but purely from a code perspective, it is the real deal. Its tech score would make it one of the, I believe, top 10 projects out there, right? And right now it's at a top 30, top 25. Yeah, right now it's 22 based on market cap, right? So, I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised if Yearn.Finance shot all the way up to being top 15. I mean, if things get really, really crazy, even top 10, because looking at crypto.com, yes, it's a good coin, but I mean, YFI is leading the DeFi race, right? So imagine if it catches up to Chainlink, right? And I think, honestly, that is possible, right? The way things are going, obviously, there's massive FOMO, but purely looking at YFI from a technology standpoint, we think the tech is even better than Chainlink based on our ratings, right? Now, if we go to the AI price prediction, so if we switch over here, so our models have been kind of still trying to kind of keep up with it, right? So looking at the models in basically this month, our models had it here at basically 6,000 or so. We actually had it going higher, then it kind of pulled back here, and then it just quickly took off, right? And our models for now kind of have it basically going flat for the next month or so. Now, one thing to note, these are rolling price predictions, meaning that they update every time there's a new close, right? So this does not mean just check the price once, come back 1 month later and expect the prices not to change, because every time there's a daily close, that new close adds to the price prediction, right? Because it looks at past pricing data. It's not this. The price prediction does not look at TA, at technology, at fundamentals. It's based purely just on the price, right? So our AI models go through and try to predict where the price is going based on the past pricing history, right? So with every daily close, that gets added as a past price, and that could possibly impact the model, right? So that's why the models, in a way, do change, right? Because they're constantly rolling, trying to predict it in the future. But I mean, so far so good. Now, disclosure, I do own YFI as well, right? I got on board about 2 weeks ago through a liquidity pool, so I've kind of been going half and half with. I did everything through Zapperfi. I highly encourage you to check out that platform, especially if you're into DeFi, right? It's kind of, think of Zapperfi as your DeFi money magic, your DeFi broker in a way, right? Even though it's kind of just a platform and just a UI, but it lets you do lots of things without having to be a DeFi expert, right? So you can go there, search different pools, put Ether. It does the converting of your funds to different tokens. So highly encourage you to check that out, right? And then let's go to Bitcoin. So here, just give me a second as I pull up BTC. So kind of as Bill mentioned, when it comes to BTC versus Yearn, right now we're basically in alt season, right? But BTC is also heating up, I would say, right? But the ratings we have are different than the actual price predictions, right? So right now our models basically have BTC still going sideways. So going sideways all the way till mid-September and possibly going down to 10,500, right? So that's kind of it, right? So basically we have Bitcoin going sideways and then possibly tailing off, but definitely not crashing off a cliff. And then going back to Yearn, we have Yearn going kind of flat for now, right? So going back to Crypto Showdown and the question of the day, right? So the question of the day was, what cryptocurrency do you think has more upside in the short term? Okay, so it's close. It's close. But Bitcoin still wins. Bitcoin is still king. So, I mean, honestly, I could see why people would think Bitcoin could still do well, right? I definitely know most of our audience are not really big Bitcoin maximalists, right? Otherwise, they would not be watching this show, right? So, looks like people are very bullish on Bitcoin this month. Okay, anything to add to that, Bill? We can't hear you.
Okay, so the amazing thing about Bitcoin, when people are going to look back at the start of the DeFi era, is that Bitcoin gained kind of a royal status as like collateral, right? It was part of the collateral along with ETH in the DeFi revolution. Okay. And then when it comes to the crypto market as a whole, each new play that moons, like I'm talking about something that goes from nowhere on the market cap chart and basically does what I would call, or we could call a chain link, right? Each one of these plays, Polkadot, right? Yearn, they get better and better from a technology and fundamental scoring standpoint, right? So yes, there is like the Uniswap moon of the day or 2 or 3 a week.
Mm-hmm.
So the casino's still open, but that's okay. That's fine, right? Because each big play gets better and better. And that means the whole market can continue to go up because as I said, this sector rotation speaks to not only the health of the bull market, but how long it can go on, right? Crypto, we're used to like 3 to 6 months and then put your helmet on and hide under the desk. Whereas equities with the rotation, that can be like multi-year.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely great for crypto. And if you're trying to find what the next rotation could possibly be, we highly encourage you to check out Token Metrics. That's why we've made the platform. So be sure to check it out. We do have a discounted trial as well. So tell us what you think. Are you more bullish on Yearn next month, or are you more bullish on Bitcoin, or maybe is it a different altcoin? Tell us down in the comments below.